What's up, everybody? Just wanted to go over, this is Keith Jordan's Pro 275 car that we're just finishing up. Really just kind of front halved it for him. So we're going to go over the little things that we did to it. Just thought it'd be cool to highlight it. Super competitive car. Luis De Leon, which is part of Fuel Tech. That's actually who drives this thing. So it's got Pro lines, whole engine package, and then of course the big Pro Charger hanging off up front. The first time they took this thing out, it had already been 380s. So we'll try to get them to go a little faster than that. The car was a little overweight. It came here just so we could redo the front end and put some different struts on it. So and it's a weight reduction. Now it's got, of course, everything that we try to do with Mincer. So it's got Mincer's front struts on it now. And that was the big thing. Just the previous tube work was really tough to get. You couldn't get the cylinder head on and off. It was just a little bit harder to work on. So we're trying to make it easy for them. So we ended up cutting the front of the car off. We ended up having to take one of the panels on the firewall out on each side so that we could get to the dash bar and then tie our front strut bar back into the dash. So all this front tube work's new. The bottom rails were existing, so we just tied into them, and then of course, like I said, put the Mincer struts on the front. And then we reworked the front quite a bit because it did have like a fuel cell tank up here that was in front of the blower. But the car was so front end heavy that that just really wasn't conducive, and it was kind of hard to work on. So we ended up wrapping this killer aluminum cell, which if you've watched a lot of our videos, we don't like to put an aluminum cell in the front of the race car, but sometimes just due to space and size constrictions, you're stuck with building an aluminum cell. So what they call this is actually like a floating cell. So it has no bungs that are welded to it that mount to the chassis. So what happens a lot of times is if you weld bungs to an aluminum fuel cell, as the car vibrates, that's points where it would crack and break. So especially on a car like this, these Pro Charge combos, Pro Charge Hemi, whatever, dude, they vibrate so bad. Like they'll break anything, like the car has constant vibration. So this fuel cell actually has a support underneath, and then it has this really tricky strap on it. So this cell has no bungs that are holding it in. It's held with this support from underneath, and then the strap that goes along it, and then the strap is obviously bolted to the chassis, and that's what holds it all in tight. It's super awesome. Brad killed that, and we got the cell back farther, which, we got some weight off the very front of the car, which was awesome. And then, along with doing that, the Pro Charger needed, obviously, air from the front. So we called our guys at RK Racecraft, and they sent us one of their cool carbon scoops, and Jaybird molded that into the front end that they supplied us. So before the front end that was on and the doors were fiberglass, we went back with the carbon front end, carbon doors. So obviously fitted that whole front end, fitted the scoop and stuff, and then fit new doors, new window frames, and some new Lexan in the doors. And then Jay killed this. We had to redo their fire lines and stuff all out front. And Jay is so awesome at the fire model lines. They're just perfect, man. So did a lot of little finishing details for them. And then out back, which Jay's still kind of buttoning that up and working on it.
Thanks for grabbing my nut, Ricky.
Anytime.
That's eat.
He's just cleaning some stuff up back here. But anyway, it did have a dual chute mount on it, and most of the tracks that I shouldn't say most, all the tracks that Pro 275 races on, their quarter mile tracks are running 1/8 mile. So we don't need 2 chutes, we can get by with just one. So we redid, this is a Racecraft, just SN95, New Edge Mustang chute mount kit. So we took the duals off, lifted this, Before the chute was mounted into here, this is what Jay is still cleaning up, just these tubes that he cut off. So these tubes came out, and then the chute tied into that. Well, the problem with that was, and you don't have to get back here that often, but to get the wing and decklet off of it, you had to pull the whole chute mount off. So it was just, it's kind of cumbersome, and just wasn't needed. So we cut them out, remounted this chute back here. That way the chute will come on and all. I'm sorry, the deckleted wing will come off and on really easy. So that's kind of it. The only thing that we got left to do is Brad's currently just aligning the front end. Then it's going to go back to one of their mechanics' bin, and he's going to put all the fuel tech and everything back in it, and just button up a few details. And then this thing will be ready to go back to the racetrack. So the team killed it, man. This thing is looking great, and they're picking it up here in a few hours. So Jay's finished himself up, and another one bites the dust.